So the screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this is class 13. Just let me connect the writing tab. Just a second. Okay. So class 13. Now in this class, I would like to discuss about two important instruction. First is using case structure, and the second one is that I would like to use another instruction. It is also a kind of if else, you can say, but not as similar, like if then. Okay, and I will write end if. So this is another way, another syntax will today I'll discuss. So first is using case structure, and second is if, then some instruction, then end if, that part. Okay, and when instruction I will use later when I discuss about the flip flop, not now. So today my agenda is to use this. Now in the previous class test, I gave you to solve one decoder and encoder example. So let us solve first the example of decoder using case structure. So before I start the solution, what is case structure? So you have to generalized format is it visible to you? Am I audible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So now case, and here variable. In previous class I did a mistake. ELSIF, ELSIF. Okay, so in that case I have written ELSC and IF, so that is actually mistake. Okay, that is a wrong thing. ELSIF, that you have to use. Okay, now case variable, you have to write a variable, whatever variable you want to use. So this is a variable, and is. Then you can write like this: when some value 1, then you assign something, some statement. Okay, and similarly when value 2, so these value are actually user defined. Okay, then once again another statement. And lastly, when there is no other value, so I will write other. So if you're not sure about what is the value, then you should write other, then statement, and finally end case. Okay, so this part actually you have to use. Now let us see how we can use it and to the program actually. So in the previous class I give one test, I take one test. So in that test I have given to problem like 3 to 8 decoder. Decoder to implement, basically 3 to 8 decoder. I told you to implement that, but I have not mentioned anything. Okay, so I told you you can use if else structure. So all of you have done it, good. So that same program I can do it very easily using the case structure. So let us concentrate on that, how I can do it. So any idea that how decoder actually works? Let us say I am having a block here 3 to 8, so I have 3 and 8 is the output. So anyone the idea that how actually it works?
Sir, it takes binary input and gives 2 power n decimal as well.
So let us say I am having 3000. So which one will be selected?
Sir, D0.
Very good. So D0. Okay. So if you use D1 here, so D1 to D8. Okay. Or you can use D0 to D7. Basically they are of 8 output. So you were rightly mentioned that if you assign 000 input, so it will be D0. Now this is true for active high decoder or active low decoder. This is true for active high. Active high. If you have some bubble sign active low, then what you have to do? If you have 00, then you have to select D7 or D8.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the coding part. So here the first thing, the formality like that library that you have to take, and then use IEEE dot standard underscore logic 1164 dot all. So that library definition is already done. All of you know this. Now entity. So I have to declare entity. Let me write in different color. Entity. So entity, what I will write, only decoder, let us say. Entity decoder is, okay, and after that port. So in the port, how many ports are there? 3 port. Okay. So X, let us say X is a port. Then it is in. Definitely it is standard logic vector. So standard logic vector and 2 down to 0. Okay, so this part is over. Now output also I need to check. So output, let us say Y, and it is out vector. Out, and it is standard logic. And 7 down to 0. Okay, so that part already you can write, already you wrote the previous class. Okay, fine. So this is about the port declaration. Okay, I have to end. So end decoder. Okay, so this is the second step. Now the third step is I am coming. So can you tell anyone tell me that whether I can write this instruction or whatever, is it the model of data flow model or is it a behavioral model?
Behavior model.
Behavioral model. Why? Because you see, I do not know the X input whether it will be 000 or 001. It's a continuous variable. So how to track? So there is no way. So that's why I need to use architecture or behavioral architecture actually. So let us write architecture behavioral. So behavioral of a decoder. Then is. Okay. Then you can begin the program and process. So which one I need to process? Any idea?
X.
Only X. Very good. Because X is the input and I do not know that what would be the value. Now after that, if you process it, then once again you need to begin. and then I will not use any if else structure, rather I will use case structure. Okay, so let me just change it to the color case. Now I have told you case variable. Which one is the variable here? X
Yes, sir.
is. Now you see the writing is how much easy. So when you tell me when this x is the variable, when this variable value, I told you value 1, that means if the value is 0 0 0, directly I assigning it. Okay, then what a statement, what statement is, what y is
Why?
the output, so y I can assign directly. I am writing for d1 to d8, so in that case 1 2 3 4, okay, 5 6 7 8. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
I I have started from D1 actually. Okay, so
सर इफ
D1
एल्स से मिलता जुलता है क्या?
if else से काफी नजदीक है, but it is not exactly similar. You can
सर बट
see
सर
this
यस
here. You have actually started with the variable x, and then directly you are writing that when the value is 0 0 0, then directly you are assigning it. You see, directly you are assigning this value of output. Okay, which was not the case for if else structure. If else structure kindly.
यस
So it is kind of easy procedure. Why it is easy, you know, because if you know the variable, okay, that input variation, if it is 0 0 0 0 0 1, then you are assigning it. Now if the number of bit actually increases, okay, then writing it in if else structure is quite cumbersome, or it is not actually good. So in that case, if you can directly prepare a case file, okay, and then you just write as per the case, then it will be easy actually. Here number of variable is 3, so that's why you can write if else like that. But if the variable is more than 3, maybe 4 or 5, then you can imagine that how difficult it would be that to write using the if else structure. Okay, so that in that case this structure is useful. Now, and we will be using it, okay, intentionally we will be using it as per the requirement. So that's why this is the skill that you need to learn. Okay? So that is important. Now when about other thing is actually, you know what I have to write, 0 0 1, then what is the case, what I will assign. So here tell me 0 0 0 0
D2 will be
0
high.
0
0
1,
0.
very good, very good. This is will be d2. Okay, so similarly you can write, so I am not writing, so it will be just you have to follow, so I am not writing. Okay, so you can write. Finally I will write the last instruction. So before that I should write, let us say this is when you have 1 1 0, this is will this also will come. And why, what should I do in that particular case? I should on d7 bit, means
Yes,
0
sir.
1 4, that is d7. And finally when last case, so when what will write, 1 1 1, no, I will not write that. So sometimes if it is 1 1 1, sometimes if I have extra I mean fluctuating bit, you do not know that, I know that is 3 bit, but sometimes there is an extra bit in the architecture, you do not know that whether it is connected or not, whether it's a 0 or it's a 1, you do not know. So to avoid that complexity, and every time you should give high value, so I will write like this, sorry, others, not 1 1 1, I will write others. Okay, it is not only 1 1 1, it can be 1 1 1 1, other 4 bit also, where extra bit may be from other glitches. Okay, so that the glitch phenomena you can also eliminate. So why, and you know this thing, it is quite easy. So 1 0 0 and then 0 0 0 0, this is for t8. Hence the structure is complete. So then what I have to do, I have to end the case. and finally end what? Process, and lastly end behavioral.
Behavioral.
Behavioral. So this is the code, and you see this is quite easier for to actually to write. Okay, so this part is quite easy, and if your variable number of variables is more, then you can easily write as per the notation. Okay, so this is about your fast program. What I gave yes, I mean the previous class 3 to 8 decoder. Okay, the same way, but I will not follow the same approach. I would like to solve the encoder problem. Okay, what I have given you encoder problem. I think what is that 8 to 3. Okay, so that encoder program I will write using this instruction, if then instruction.
So
So
can we solve it using case structure?
It can be solved, so it will be just a repetition, so that's why I would not like to repeat it. Okay,
Okay.
definitely you can use case structure. Already you have used if else structure. Okay,
Yes.
so if else structure used, and case structure already you know, because I have solved it now. But you should also know the other thing. That's why I will like to solve the encoder problem using this if what is that if then, yeah, if then architecture, or if then style of writing. So let us solve it. Definitely you can solve it using this case structure. That's what I told you. Now so acha, encoder means what is a how you can give the priority in the encoder. Anyone? So let us say encoder means what? Encoder means I have 8 input and I have 3 output. Now you tell me how I can do it. So basically, if all are 0, let us say all are 0, then what I have to do? So that is 0.
yes,
Or else what I can do? I can start with 1. So if you consider that to be D1 to D8, okay, so you can start with 1, like just I have started 0 0 1, and finally the value is 1 1 1. So let us just start. So what is the input? Input is 8. The vector is 8, and output vector is 3. Okay. So the library part I am not writing. I am directly writing from the entity part. So library will be there, so I am not writing it. So 8 to 3 encoder. And you see, this encoder is very much important. You know why? Because it has wide application. First application, if you want to measure speed of what? Speed of motor. Okay, then maybe speed of blower. In all real application, generally the speed sensing is required, and these speed sensing can be done easily by using encoder. Okay, because encoder will give you the change of high and low, and based on this change you have to just count up to what count there is a repetition. Okay, because one movement is equal to 360 degree. So if there is a movement, so you can understand that in a 360 degree how many bits are changing, and based on that information you need to convert with respect to the speed, because 360 degree movement, so that movement, if it takes that amount of data, so you can change to that corresponding using definitely there is a V reference is required, because and basically it's the same as your conversion, digital to analog conversion. You need a V reference to convert it, and then there is a need of scaling, because V reference generally 5 volt, but speed may be 15,000 rpm or 1000 rpm. So there is a scaling unit also is required after that. So this encoder is quite used, okay, in practical application. In if you I think if you are familiar with Arduino, so in Arduino also there is some module, encoder module is there, In market it is available. Only thing is that encoder module you have to fit with the your Arduino as per the pin number, and then you have to write some code. So definitely the signal coming from the digital signal, basically coming from the motor speed. Let us say I have a motor and that I have a shaft, and in the shaft what is happening, I have this black and white strip is connected. Okay, so what is happening, so whenever the rotor is moving, okay, so that light is passing, so either if it is black then it is 0, if it is white it is high. So this type of signal, repeated signal you will get, and that is the digital signal, and this digital signal we have to give it to the encoder, and that encoder will give you the speed output. Okay, so I hope that maybe you have done this kind of speed sensing. Have you done it?
So do you know the encoder?
Yes, sir.
Maybe in I think in Arduino it is quite standard to use generally encoder based speed sensing, and all the robotics people, you know, I think.
Yes, sir.
So let us just write the code. So I will not write the library part, I will directly write from the entity encoder, only I will write encoder.
So what priority have you considered?
What parity I will parity as 1 means basically I will consider 1. So, and if it is 2 then I will consider it 2, and as per the priority means which one will be higher. So
Yes, sir.
definitely you can understand. So if it is 0 0 means actually I am considering a 1. Okay, so if it is 0 1 0 then I am considering 2 0 1 0. So you tell me which priority I am using.
Okay, sir. You are considering to D7 greater than, so D8 greater than D7 greater than.
Yeah, so D7 greater than D6 greater than, so like D0.
Yes, sir.
So highest priority is D7 and lowest is D0. So now let us just write like entity encoder is, and what I will write port. Okay, so port I have to define, and as per you know x is what, x is the input. Okay, input standard logic vector, and what is the vector, standard logic vector 7 down to 0. Okay, this part is done, and other part is also, you know, this y equal to output. So output of what, vector, and 2 down to 0. Okay, so this semicolon I forgot, and end encoder. So this part is easy. Next part I just like to start. So you tell me that here also, you know, when I want to use this if structure, if when, then also I need to process. So basically you do not know the input. Whenever there is an input and you do not know the variable input, and it is not also in your control, generally we use behavioral model. So end of encoder, then here architecture, okay, architecture of what, architecture behavioral of encoder. Okay, encoder is right. So now next is begin, then process. This is quite standard now. Now after that, once again begin. Yes, now we are ready. You tell me from where I should start. So I should start from the definition itself. So you see that by default, let us say I am not giving any kind of input and you do not know. So by default, you remember, if you want to use this structure if then, okay, so definitely in default condition you need to mention first. By default I want output should be 0. I want output should be 0. That is a default condition. So this is default. Okay. Then if I am coming for the if. Now if directly I will write x of 1. You see interesting thing. X of 1. X is the input, okay? So that means I am writing here d1. Okay. So if it is that, if x of 1 equal to 1, then what should I do? Then y I should assign to what? 0 0 1 and end if. Okay, you see the syntax, because otherwise it will show you some error. If x of 1 is high, then you should activate the, here you can consider d3, that output basically. Okay, so other d is input, so maybe here I can write a3 a2 a1 like that. So 0 0 1 and end if. So now next is what? So now if x2 is 1, okay, it is not double, it is only single. Okay, okay, then y what should I assign? 0
0 1 0
1 0.
very good. Then end if. Once again if x3, oh, that is a wrong practice. Every time that is my problem. Here when you assign one value within the instruction, that is single inverted comma, okay, and then when you are giving the value, that should be double. So what I will write here, anyone, so 0
1
1
double 0.
0 1
0
1 na?
1 1.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes.
x3 na?
Hmm.
Now similarly I will not write for the, I will go for the directly last thing. So if x7, okay, and then you can directly write in process. And of course end behavioral. Okay, so you also can find I mean sometimes you can find this is useful. Okay, so what are the things you learned? I mean, if you consider the previous class and this class, previous class that was a test, day after the previous class, so day before the previous class I told you about UFL structure, how to use. Then today I discussed about the how to use the case structure, and also how to use if and then structure, okay, within a process. So I hope you can apply that knowledge what I gave. Let us just write for one code for maybe multiplexer. Okay, that will be a good practice. Okay, so let us just write one program for multiplexer using the using maybe whatever you use, maybe case structure I would like to just follow, and you please help me how to write. So now multiplexer. See this code what I am writing is just like a net practice. Okay, in a real time problem nobody will will tell you that okay, you write a code for multiplexer. Okay, it is just how what you learn and then you apply and you check whether, and you already know the operation of multiplexer. So in this way you actually learn the code, and then finally you can apply to maybe a VGA connector, to maybe your with the laptop or with the display unit. Okay, and other works as well. Now can anyone tell me that in multiplexer what is the input, what is the output, how I can do it?
So which multiplexer are we considering?
Let us say 8 to 1.
8x1. So then, sir, for this 2 power n
2 cube.
inputs are there and n select lines are there. So we can say 3 select lines are there
Yeah.
and 8
So what?
inputs.
Yeah, 8 inputs. So in you tell me. So directly I am writing code for the port. Okay. So what I will write? So entity what? Mux mux simple mux is then port. In the port what I will write? So first of all, x is the input. Seven down to 0. Now you tell me selection line is also there, n. So let us say n is a selection line. N is input or output?
So input.
Input. So standard logic vector 2 down to 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what else is left?
Sir, output.
Yeah. Now you tell me output is what? Is what? Why is the output? Let us say it's a what?
Normal out standard logic.
Very good. Standard logic. Okay, standard logic. So bracket close, semicolon close. So end mux. Okay, now I am going to write the architecture. So what I will write in the architecture? So architecture
Behavioral.
behavioral of mux is then begin. My writing pad is not working. So begin and then process.
Yes, sir. X comma n.
Yes, that's what I am asking. So what I will do? See, I do not want to use the if-else structure. Okay, I just only want to use what? I just only want to use the case structure. Let us say, and for that there is no need to take the n here. Selection line. Selection line I will provide. Okay, based on each case. Okay, the value I give na, the
Yes,
value I will provide.
Okay, sir.
So process only I will process x the input. Okay, and then I will write the begin.
Okay, sir.
Now just a second. Okay, so begin I have started here. I have processed the x variable. That is also another process. So you tell me the case.
So when case select case n is
Case select. Select means what variable? That is n variable, right? Very good. So is. Now when what? When n value. N is what?
0 0 0 3 zeros.
0 0 0. Then what I will write?
So we took y as right output. Y is equal to d of 0 or x of 0. X of 0.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Very good. So x of 0 because x is a vector, right?
Yes, sir.
So directly I will write selection line will select only x0, not others.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a multiplexer. Multiplexer selection line, if it is 0 0 0, that means what line will be selected? Only d0 line will be selected.
Yes, sir.
So that part I am writing here. Okay. So very good. So now next, when or other case, and you understand why I am not taking process n, only I take process x. No, I am
Because
not
n is
taking
always
n.
initializing here in the
Exactly.
case.
Here, actually, in the case structure, I am utilizing the n here, and I am directly giving the value. Okay, so it is a deterministic thing. You are giving the value, and based on that, you are selecting the what should be the output. And here, x is the only variable which should be processed continuously, not n, because
Okay,
n
sir.
you are actually giving. Understand? So that's why I am not processing n. But there are cases when there are other example as well when we need to process n, because the if the output depends upon another thing, then maybe there is a need to process. Here directly, let me explain. So see here directly, as per this I am selecting it. Okay, there may be a case when not only this value but also depend other value as well depend on the output. So in that case you need to also process n. Okay, so this is not the case here, so there's no problem. So 0 0 1, then I think there is I think rest of the things you know what to write.
Yes, sir.
So just I am not writing everything, you can write. And last, when, because it is others is important, you tell me when others, what I will write.
So nothing. I guess null is better option. NULL.
No, why others means it is under actually 1 1 1 part.
So when all one is there, then we are selecting
Yeah,
D7,
that
right? From
no,
home row.
just a second, yeah. So you see from zeros I have started from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. Okay, and definitely it will be 7 because I have started from let us say D0. It is not working properly, so
So
D0 to D7, so basically 8 bit. So there is no problem because 8 to 1 multiplexer, it should work.
yes, sir.
So here instead of writing 1 1 1 I am writing others. So it is because the thing is that I already told you once, but let me repeat again. So let us say I am having all the input here, and all are basically value is 1. Okay, there may be, okay, there may be a glitch operation which actually can sometimes change the higher bit MSB, can change the lower bit LSB. Okay, sometimes 0, sometimes 1. There may be a glitch operation. Okay, you do not know. So that case I actually included with others. So when there is 1 1 1, no problem, because definitely 1 1 1 means D7.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
but others variable maybe 1 1 1 and then 1 1 0, then 1 second 1 1 1, because it is a clock. Based on each clock, this value actually changes. Okay, active high, active low. So if there is a glitch, then also it should not hamper the operation. Okay, so in that case,
Okay, sir.
output should be D7.
Okay, sir. Like if everyone is high, at the end of the day, everything is
Yeah,
high.
exactly. Yeah, if everything is high, and even though let us say for one clock, see the clock is actually moving. Okay, so for this timing, let us say all are 1, and for this clock, let us say 1 1 1, sometimes 0 here itself in that period itself. Okay,
Okay, sir.
clock is not ending. Clock within the clock, because glitch happens what? Because the glitch means within the clock time if the data changes from 0 to 1. Okay, so it do not understand what should be the output, whether it will be, so whether it will be D6 or D7. So let us concentrate, it will be D7. Okay, so X7. So this is the very powerful tool to use others actually, and that is available in the case structure, not others, not if else or not in other instruction. Okay, so and then what to write? End case, and what else? End case, end
End
process.
process.
Just a second. So end case, let me just write it again. End case, end process, and end behavioral. Okay. So I hope you understand that how we can use case structure to solve a problem. Hmm? Here the problem I told about the multiplexer. You can try for the demarks as well. So that will be a repetition. So I do not want to repeat, but you please practice. Okay.
Yes.
7 segment display you want to do? 7 segment display. Okay, let me give you on home task. 7 segment display. You please write a VHDL code for 7 segment display,
Okay, sir.
because basically that is a decoder. I think you know that it's decoder or encoder.
Sir, decoder.
Decoder. So you write a program for 7 segment LED display. 7 segment. I think you know this box. You have to fill it up like in digital. You have studied. I think this is
8, sir.
and what else? I think this one only.
Yes, sir. Total. Complete will be 8, sir.
Complete will be 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me divide it. So how many things are there? So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in between, okay, let us just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But there are 2 bits required.
Sir, not like this, sir. Actually, so there will be one single line above. That is, let's say that is A.
Okay, just a second, because I forgot actually.
Yes, sir. One. It is like sir, you need to make complete 8. So that is the 7 segment displays in that.
So let us say I am writing this. Okay,
Yes, sir. Now for up the above one will be one single line. That is, let's say A.
let's say A.
Then right one is B. We can go, sir. A B C D E F G.
So the
Okay, so
outer
let us
point
say A B
B
C
C D
B.
E F, and between is G. So
Okay,
this
so how
is
many?
the
So
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7. Okay, okay. Yeah, that is there. But sometimes I have seen, because I actually, okay, I have seen like this type of display also I have seen. I don't know what is that display called. I
So this is
mean,
two. These are two 7 segment displays, I guess. Two individuals.
like what this is called. Okay, I have seen like this. Let us say this. Okay, and here, and I have another one here.
Okay.
This one, and this one. I have seen in microprocessor actually. There actually this is also there. I know this is what is there in the your traffic light and all. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but I have seen this one also. Sometimes they use, okay, to give some error code like this. Okay, maybe I don't know. I have to see. Okay, let me check.
Okay, sir.
I have seen in between there is a fully LED will not on any of the time. It will be always off, and these are actually there. What is that called? I don't know. I forgot. Okay. Definitely you can use. Okay, this one, yeah, this one you use. But actually in my mind this is actually running, so that's why. Okay, anyway, so you try it. Okay, so how to use that display using 7 segment display in decoder,
Right, sir.
and what exercise I can give to practice. You try this one only. Okay,
Okay, sir.
try this one only. Acha, in next class I'll be discussing about flip flop. Okay, what is the difference between till now what I taught? Okay, is there any memory element involved?
No, sir.
No, there is no memory element, because previous output I am not taking as an input.
Yes, sir.
But in flip flop, there is a need to take the previous output as the current input. So how to do that in program? That we will be discussing in the next class. So before I start flip flop, you know there is a need to discuss some latch, because unless you until latch operation, it will be difficult to understand if flip
Yes, sir.
flop. So latch I will do maybe SR latch or D latch. I will write one code, and directly after that I will start writing code for JK flip flop. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So it will be interesting. So in next class is actually good. Okay. So yeah, today I am finishing here. Any
No,
doubt
sir.
you want to? Yeah.
So one thing you said there will be glitches. So glitches, sir, what like in clock cycle? You said that the last bit can change as one bit
Mm-hmm.
zero.
See, the thing is that actually in digital circuit there is a problem. All the digital circuit, all the microprocessor based or microcontroller based system, they execute or they run based on the clock signal. Clock is the mother signal. Okay, this clock signal can be of megahertz range, and after that there can be a clock division. Okay, whatever the case it may be. So either you are using pure clock, which is a crystal oscillator clock, or you are using a division clock, like if this is the derived clock. Internally we have this clock frequency, but maybe after processing, okay, let us say this f by 2, 2 times f by 2, this is the frequency, and that is internally circuit actually is doing for you, and that clock, this clock is now actually you are using for your program. So let me just do it again. So this is the clock what you are using to process your program. Now when you are actually prepared one bit file and you run into your processor, it may be DSP or FPGA, whatever, or maybe your transistor based circuit, you see that clock given whenever there is a one clock is going on, so there is a positive is triggered clock, then the code will be executed once. Okay, whatever code or bit file you have generated, okay, either it may be and this type of transistor circuit, so it will give you high signal at that point of time. So transistor will work and it will give you output. So here you will get one output, let us say y0 you are getting. Okay, next interval will change, so next bit change on whatever thing, it will change here in that particular clock time. Okay, because the thing is that you are using your execution of the program as zero, or I mean positive is triggered thing. So for each positive is triggered, there will be maybe the same value you will get here, there is no problem, but if anything changes or changes is required, that will be reflected at that very particular point. Okay, now the glitch phenomenon is whenever you are changing, let us say from 0 to 1, during this time interval your value is fixed. Okay, value is fixed means what value? Y0 value is fixed, because it is expected the input do not change during that time. Sometimes it may happen, even though your program is already running, your transistor actually understand it is in active region, but sometimes it may happen that your signal, input signal becomes weak. Weak means what? Let us say 5 volt is the high signal, but if the voltage is 3.3, that is also high volt. But if it is 2.2, then that is a problem. 2.2, we cannot say either it's a low signal or it's a high signal. Then the output, okay, this thing will not able to understand what to do. So in that condition, even before coming to the next execution time or next clock time, which is the positive is triggered, what will happen here, your output will oscillate, okay, maybe from y0 to y1, and then y1 to once again y0. This principle is called glitch principle. Okay, and that happens because of the input voltage inconsistency. Okay, because you are thinking that 5 volt is the input voltage. See, 0 1 is irrespective. The thing is that 1 means 5 volt, 0 means actually 0 volt. But practically when you are connecting the line, there may be a voltage which lies between here, maybe some point of time your signal is 5 volt, and then it maybe reaches to 2.2 volt, then 0. So what will happen during this condition if your voltage goes below suddenly? So that digital circuit will not understand. It is not analog, it is not op-amp, that immediately it will be reflected because of the capacitance effect. It is digital, it will not able to understand what to do. So then there is a fluctuation from y0 to y1 and y1 to y0. Okay, that is called a glitch operation. Now here I am giving others to represent the glitch. If there are 1 1 1 and some point of time 1 in the same clock interval, okay, in the same clock interval, if there changes 1 1 0 and then 1 1 1 once again changes, that means this change will not affect the output, which is definitely D7. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Understand?
Okay. Um,
Okay, so you please practice that 7 segment display one. Okay, and we'll do the other programming like SR flip flop and that sorry SR latch and D latch and then JK flip flop in the next class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I am stopping the recording here.